Hi there, welcome to our next episode of Sword of Victory. I'm Bob, the GM,
Woo!
And we have back another familiar guest, familiar from the last time, if you watched anyways. We liked Gorlois so much, we brought him back. Arthur, why don't you go ahead and do your introduction?
Hello, I'm APGamingReal. I don't feel like I need more of an introduction except to say I'm here to provide the GM a way to talk to the players without the GM talking to the players.
And let me just say, it was amazing to have you around last time. So it was.
I think it was amazing to be here. This is the first time I've ever come back for a guest appearance simply because I someone else drew the correct card during a feast.
That's 100% what
unprecedented.
All right, let's go ahead and go down the list here, starting with Thomas.
Hello, I'm Thomas, and I'll be playing Sir Edrich of House Winterbourne, Stoke, who's not great at falconry.
I imagine, you're really going to be ousted by some of these guys who are probably famous for it. Just kidding, I doubt anyone is. But let's find out. Mark.
Hello, I am Mark, and today I shall be playing Sir Florence of Idmiston. And I am also shit at falconry. But I'm ready to give it a go.
Alright. There was some funky background noise there. It sounded like you were playing from a tunnel or something. Maybe with a fan going.
I might be.
Yeah. Alright, fair enough. Liam, you're up.
Hi, everybody. I am Liam. I am playing Sir Perin of Durnford. I am also very excited for tonight. I am equally bad at falconry, so we're gonna have to really rely on the conversation for this one, I think.
Wait, you're not Sir Edrich number 2? I'm confused.
I'm not Sir Edrich number 2. Funny enough, we are different people.
Yeah.
Somehow we managed it on accident.
I guess I'm starting to, feel my age. I'm getting your name wrong consistently in the game already. So once I start calling you my cat's name, we're in trouble. So.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that day. Actually, that's gonna be fun.
All right. So we can begin. I think the following morning. I think it's the appropriate thing. So it is summertime. I think we established prior for the wedding. So the dawn comes early, and the sound of a distant rooster crowing can be heard. Why don't we do, just for entertainment and roll's sake, give me some energetic rolls. See how y'all are feeling. It was a pretty exhaustive trip, and
Some of us may be more hungover than others.
Yeah.
You stay away from the alcohol, and you stay away from potentially flirting with your host's wife.
Yeah, don't worry, we're gonna cover that.
Okay.
Sir Florence is definitely still a little hangover.
And just need Liam's roll here.
Yeah, energetic and lazy, or just energetic?
Just energetic for this one.
Bada bing.
All right.
I'm excited.
So, no problem for both Edrich and Perin. I think in the case of Florence is pretty deep in the cup, right? Right.
Oh, yeah.
So you're alerted to... you're alerted by the staff, I think. Did we haven't established your squires yet, have we, in detail?
Correct.
No, we haven't.
Yeah. I'm trying to do a lot of things at once in the short amount of lead into this game. I think we're only a couple of episodes in, but I really need to stop and do that. My plan was to do that when you're back in Salisbury. You have one for the sake of what we're doing. We're just not establishing who they are on screen in detail yet. Safe to say your squire is quick to wake you. You wake and your eyes are super dry. Your mouth is super dry. You can feel your throat's almost like burning, like you have a sore throat. And when you start to sit up, your whole head just feels like it's not on your body. Like you feel like like you want to fall down or lay down as quickly as possible, but at the same time you don't want to move even an inch. It just, everything hurts, and that is where you start.
All right, fantastic. With his head in his hand, he just goes, "Oh, Squire, prepare my horse, and my armor, and my falcon."
At once, sir.
Wait.
You don't wear armor on a hunt. It's my favorite part of the hunt. My favorite part of the hunt is that knights are incredibly vulnerable to
I was
being
just
murdered while
about to say,
hunting.
quite frightening, that wording you're using there.
Florence still calls for his armor, but I imagine he doesn't get it.
Yeah,
He just gets
your squire
riding
just
clothes.
brings you your riding clothes, prepares your
He knows what I mean.
your equipment before going to gather your round seed, make sure it's ready for the hunt.
Incidentally, hunting is also the only time where using a bow is considered knightly activity. That's why almost all knights are shit at using bows.
So it's
Barely
dishonor
get to do
among
it.
knights.
That's why they get the Irish to do it. Made a whole movie about it too.
Stabbing people from far away.
Until it's used against the Irish later. But that's more like Normandy days. So. Okay, so moving scenes, we go back to I'd say like the courtyard of Castle Tintagel, Castle Terraville, it's called technically. By the way, this is a beautifully set castle just where it is on the peninsula. It's just really gorgeous. It's very defensible up against the cliffside, but it's also just very, very gorgeous. Maybe you didn't have time to notice that on the way in. I think as you arrive, there are a number of knights gathered, but there's also Count Roderick present. And is Duke Gorlois here yet?
Of course. You'd think the host would not arrive first.
I wasn't sure if he'd arrive first or, purposefully last. I wasn't sure.
No. Duke Gorlois has arrived first, and he is speaking individually to each of his knights, and then sending them off to speak with a counterpart in Roderick's knights.
Roger that. I'm picking up on where you're going, and so I'm gonna do that little bit with Roderick, who immediately kind of catches the eyes of Perin. We'll say first. It starts over to Perin.
Yeah, as Perin sees him approach, he'll kind of smile, wave brightly, and ride up, and he goes, "My count, what can I do for you?"
Do for me. Interesting wording. Let's start with how I expect things to go today. I will be riding alongside the Duke. I think we have some words, some discussion that needs to be had. I expect by his, by what he proclaimed yesterday at the invitation, that he would like to see us get to know the Knights of Cornwall a bit closer. I propose we do just that. It's of no harm to know the knights and their caliber, if for nothing more than to understand what they're all about. If you could please inform the others of this intention, that would be most wonderful.
Certainly. I'll do my rounds. And Roderick would see Perin hesitate just for a moment. He goes, "Should we... How careful should we be on this trip?"
I trust Gorlois enough to think that he is not the type to betray others. He is a soldier, and if Aurelius were still the king, he would be one of the most loyal.
Aye. Okay, then your will be done, my count. And good luck.
He nods. You can go ahead and give me like an intrigue test real quick.
Ooh, who said the magic words to me? The ones that I love, the ones that make me happy.
There's fuckery afoot.
I was about to say you went too many descriptors in. I'm like, oh, he's poisoned it.
I goofed it.
Yeah. You kind of realize after the fact there's something not quite. What's your suspicious level?
Ooh, and probably not as high as it should be.
You'll get it there eventually.
Yeah, 10-10.
Okay, yeah. You sense something's off with Roderick. You're not really sure what exactly is off. I think that's the play, but you're like, that seemed a little weird, and something about his demeanor seemed to suggest he wasn't super comfortable, but you're not able to get any further than that.
Well, I've been given an order, so I will make my rounds, and I will relay that information to what knights I can, and especially Sir Edrich and Florence.
Yeah, so let's start with you I'm going to bring Florence in a second, but let's start with you going to Sir Edrich. We'll assume that you relay that information successfully to the others.
Perfect.
Good to see you.
Hi, I hope you rested well. Florence?
Oh no, Florence is being brought in a second. I'm here in his stead.
I misunderstood then. Forgive me, I'm talking to the void. Edrich, good to see you. How are you? Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling well.
Good.
Unlike many here, I'm not exactly wearing the hangover well. The drink was good, but overly strong for my taste.
I had to admit I had a far more enjoyable night than I thought I would.
I noticed.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It's of no import. But I am glad you had a good time.
Uh-huh.
Is everything all right?
Yes, Count Roderick asked me to make the rounds. And then what was it specifically that Roderick, what was the important thing that Roderick wanted to convey specifically?
You don't remember.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah. Why don't you test courtesy for me? Let's see what you remember.
Oh, fuck. Liam has
You
betrayed Perin for the last time. All right, I got it. You son of a bitch.
That's good courtesy. That's good courtesy.
You were courteous enough to recall the conversation and make it your priority. As a result, you know that his intention, the Count's, is to pair people up appropriately, as the Duke had sort of suggested,
right
at the end of the feast, or whenever the hunt was called. I think it was the middle of the feast.
Yeah, buddy system
so,
kind of thing.
Yeah, so I think what you took away from it with Count Roderick is he intends to lean into it. He's not resisting it in any way. He's saying, sure, that sounds like a reasonable term. Why don't we do just that?
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss something.
Yep.
Well, Sir
Sorry,
Count...
I wanted to stop here real quick. I may have accidentally started you all on a path. His actual title is Earl Roderick, and I called him Count Roderick last episode. That is because Gorlois doesn't like the French, and the French version... Earl is the French version of the English Count.
Yeah, I think we've been using Count for him.
Okay, all right. This is the thing that English nobles do to seem fancier is to change their titles to their French versions. But his actual title is technically Earl of a county.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's a good kind of point, because for whatever reason, I'm sure I'll hear about this from someone on the Pendragon Discord server at some point. When they made the Book of Uther expansion for the Great Pendragon campaign, they named him Count Uther throughout the entire book, rather than Earl. Or Roderick, Count Roderick, rather than Earl Roderick for whatever reason. So my stance is I'm going to simply shift to Earl as a formality that happens in the game, and it has not happened yet. So we're good with Count.
Okay. It's just something
Uther,
English people do.
I could see just out of frame, like Duke Gorlois handing you like 10 libra. So.
Oh man.
All right.
But yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's all good. Perin goes, Duke Gorlois. Gorlois has recommended that we pair off one knight from Salisbury and one knight with, a Cornwall knight. And Count Roderick has accepted these terms.
Well, that doesn't seem too bad. A good idea, in fact. Strengthens bonds between the areas. I will say that I have been making, at the very least, acquaintances with some people. I tried to stop Sir Florence from getting involved in a duel. I haven't seen him, so I assume he was in the church with Sir Owain.
Speak of the devil, enter Sir Florence off in the distance. He's not quite with you guys yet, but you see him entering the space. Continue.
I cannot tell for the life of me whether or not that's a euphemism or not, given Florence's... Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Sir Florence.
Florence takes a few steps forward before stumbling another few steps forward and then righting himself, continuing the way as he holds his head. Oh, Sir Knights! What a beautiful morn we have found ourselves with. Oh, Perin! I didn't see you there.
You didn't see me there. Good morning, Sir Florence. I'm happy to see that you're, I'm happy to see that you're up.
Oh, please do not speak too loud, my friend. My ears are still ringing.
Have you heard a falcon, like, when it makes the noise that it makes?
Oh, this is going to be a horrible morning.
Quite piercing and loud. I do have a quick question, and I would like the...
Yes, Sir Knight?
Have you not seen... My name is Edrich. Have you not seen Sir Owain today?
I believe I was talking with him last night. I think we were having a few drinks. I don't entirely remember the conversation.
Oh dear. All right,
I think it went well.
That's
so
your
long
responsibility.
As it was after the duel to the death, yes. That is good.
Otherwise, I will make sure to meet him with the church. Though I do think we did end in the church, but I don't quite remember.
Right, that's good. I was simply worried about that. As for the rest, would you like some water?
Oh, please. Something to fix my head. Perhaps you can also say a few Hail Marys for me as well.
I'll be sure to do that. Takes a water skin from the Round Seas saddlebag and hands it over to you.
Was that a euphemism?
Downs it.
No, a Hail Mary is an actual thing.
Yes, but nothing. Sir Florence, one more thing of note. Duke Gorlois has, he's asked us to pair up one Salisbury knight with one Cornwall knight, and Count Roderick has given his approval for such a thing, so get ready to make a new friend.
I see. Wonderful. I am very much excited to meet the Sir Knight.
I'm curious to see, spend a little bit more time with the ilk here. There was some mingling last night, but quite a good amount of it seemed to be, rather segregated.
Right. I think with that, natural pause, we're going to cut back over to the host. As the knights start to gather, are there any words you want to do to introduce this sort of speech?
Yeah, Gorlois does not have such words. He simply indicates to everyone by, lifting his arm with his falcon upon it, and sets the knights to all go in their various directions, leaving him with Roderick and Roderick's 3 vassal knights.
Perfect. All right. So, as the Duke kind of indicates this, and folks start to pair off, I'm going to give you all a chance here to pair up with any appropriate folk. A lot of you were involved in yesterday's affairs, so you're quickly looking around the room. I will allow you, or not the room, but the courtyard, as knights start to move and pair up. I will allow you either a recognize, a heraldry, or failing either of those, an intrigue. If you choose intrigue, it will have a lesser effect than the other two. To see who these other knights are, this is what this is indicating. If you have someone in particular you're looking for, your success will simply indicate that you found that one person. So.
When you say failing those, you can do intrigue. Does that mean after I fail those
No,
other
it
two
means
rolls?
you can choose one of the 3. It's just intrigue has a lesser effect than recognize or heraldry in this case. It represents your ability to recall key political information from the night before, but recognize and heraldry will help you quickly identify folks, essentially.
I'm gonna do recognize roll.
Heraldry. Oops.
All right. So
Woo!
you
Strong
folks
start.
are all late to the party a bit as folks start to branch off.
I don't know who these people are. The only people I know are Sir Owain and his second Artur.
Okay.
So, knights, if you do not have partners, will you not ride with myself and your count?
We are honored.
It would absolutely be our honor.
Indeed. A
like
great
it.
honor, Your Grace.
Extreme honor.
I had hoped to speak with you again after last night. It's fortuitous that we have ended in this situation, then.
Fortuitous indeed. Yeah, fortuitous indeed. However we can help, we shall.
I think it is more how I can help you.
Even if our help is just good company, we're happy to accept whatever is thrown our way. Shall we? We'll prepare what we can for you.
We start riding slowly across my fields.
There is one other in tow, unless Gorlois forbids it. The captain of your guard and the recent groom is, of course, present for this.
Of course.
Sir Brastius will ride, but at a distance to allow you guys, ample room to discuss without his ears catching. But close enough to assist should anything go awry.
I think I indicate for Brastius to have a conversation with Roderick to pull him away from this.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you know what? I think it goes well enough. I think Brastius starts off with, so tell me more about the Rock. I've heard a great detail about Sarum. And this, of course, you can see a glint of pride in Roderick's eye as the two start to fold away. They're riding a little bit slower, leaving the 4 of you rather, on the roadside together at the head of the hunt.
The 2 of you who have ridden with Edrich before would see that familiar half smile, half grimace, the kind of non-verbal "oh boy" on his face as a Roderick is drawn away.
Perin also runs his hands through his hair, or runs the hand through his hair, and just oh, okay.
Sirs, be at ease. It is just falconry.
Rare indeed.
I know it can be intimidating to speak to someone of my rank, but are you not vassal knights? You may not be banner knights or knight lords, but you are still men of ranking and station in this land.
Indeed, and we're grateful for the attention. I do believe that we've earned it in some ways, and also it is somewhat, well, nobody draws attention for no reason, and we have drawn yours, one way or the other.
I have looked more into the three of you, and as I'm saying that, I look at Sir Perin specifically.
Do not observe
And
me.
I have heard about you from members of your household, uncles. But my understanding is that for the three of you, you are of an age, and yet your fathers are dead before you. Is this not true?
I'm afraid so. All of
You
our
you've lacked
Sorry.
someone to offer you an important piece of guidance for men of your station. I think we are all in agreement that God has placed us all where we are meant to be. You must do your service for God. You are 21 now, and you are yet unmarried. You have no heirs. It is time for you to begin considering continuing your line. If you wish to sully that with bastards on the side, God willing, do what you must, but you are too old not to be married for men of your lineage and stature. I do not wish to speak ill of my good friend, Count Roderick, but some men are not cognizant of these things in their knights. They aren't aware of the troubles that one who is of lower rank of them may go through. But I remember a time when I was unmarried and stumbling about in the world, going off on quests, accepting ridiculous Herculean bargains from magical kings off the coast of France, and there comes a time where you need to get married to have an heir. I have not been blessed with male heirs, but I'm sure you have seen my 3 wonderful daughters.
We have, Your Grace.
There
Mr.
are many unwed daughters in the lands that I tend over.
Mr. Bob, I might need to prompt a courtesy roll right now.
Why don't you tell me your intentions, and then we'll find the appropriate role here. What are you aiming to do?
Well, although Gorlois did preface it with I do not mean to speak ill of your Count Roderick, the implication that Roderick is anything other than really nice to his knights and completely understanding, especially
I wasn't saying that.
I know.
Definitely didn't want to say any of that.
Of course. And also, Perin interpreted it a certain way, especially given House Durnford's specific history with Roderick. I think Perin needs to try to hold his tongue, and maybe Edrich should should roll something to see if they notice Perin do that.
Okay, so this is whether or not you're going to. So there's 2 ways you could do this: prudent versus reckless, or if you're going to speak courteously, it would be courteous.
I think he is going to speak. He's just going to try to. It's
Okay.
whether or not
Which
he
way
does
he's
it.
going. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, Edric's not a psychic.
Now we will keep in mind that Gorlois not played as a true NPC in this, so the courtesy will be accounted for, but it's also
Right.
his own personal interpretation as well. So.
Right. Perin just kind of smiles real bright, and he goes, Count Roderick is very good to his people, and he has made consistent pushes to make sure these things happen, that lines are continued. As I said, all 3 of our houses have suffered much hardship lately, but Roderick's leadership and his generosity have been very important for us getting back on our feet. I know that I am courting, but my friends and I, well, we are only recently knighted as of last year. It's important to find a wife, of course, and I hope you understand that it's not through a lack of effort.
I'm here to tell you that perhaps I can help you alleviate those efforts. Although I did hear Sir Florence was chasing after some baroness?
Perin laughs.
That Florence goes,
Have I
yes,
misunderstood something?
the Baroness Pomponia. Truly a beautiful woman, though I fear a little out of my league.
You think so?
Just a tad.
I knew a man once who was told that the daughter of a king required becoming a king to chase after. That man conquered 3 counties in pursuit of her.
That is true enough. The heart wants what the heart wants. Should God will it, I would love to bear the heart of such a lady.
Does she offer the same favor to you?
Seemingly. She's an intelligent woman. She has both beauty and brains.
I think you'll find that most women have both. But I understand what you mean. All I can say is that you should resume your pursuit of her with greater fervor. There are many knight lines in the history of this island that have simply died out because they did not pursue heirship. Your houses are in a dangerous position, and I would not see... Perhaps against my better judgment, I like the 3 of you, but as I'm saying this, I look at Perin. Against my better judgment, I like the 3 of you, and I would not see your houses end. The lineage, the rich history, the nobility that you carry, simply because of lack of effort from your leadership. Someone must occasionally personally drag young men out to do things, and normally that would be your father. But as we mentioned, they have died bravely defending the Isle of Britain. And so it is left to doddering old fools to do so on your behalf. There are unmarried daughters of great knights, of wealthy merchants, of even dukes here. You already know that this land is forgotten by the rest of Britain, that Uther is upset. Do you know why he does not like me? You have only heard that I do not show up to musters, but you do not know why. I see. You already know, of course, that we are here fighting the Irish menace.
Indeed.
The southwestern part of this island was not always part of the Kingdom of Logres. I conquered it. Personally. I brought these counties by my hand into the call of the High King Aurelius. I was not there when he died as a result, and his younger brother blames me for his death. Perhaps he is right.
Tragedy can spoil the hearts of any man, particularly those who have loved, those who have lost.
And even this topic continues to tell us loss and tragedy can come at any time. Without a younger brother or an heir, the noble line of the High Kings may have ended.
Caring such as you do is important. It is vital that we continue to care. I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I appreciate your advice.
Gorlois is going to fall back until he's right next to you, Perin, and cut you off and put his hand on your shoulder and say, "You're the one I am most concerned about. I would very much like to make sure that you are married as soon as possible. Personally, I will help see to it."
Your generosity warms my heart. I am, as I mentioned, courting someone at this moment, but I'd be happy to look at whatever prospects you have lined up.
Do you love her?
I'm afraid I have not known her long enough, but I'd like to think I do, yes.
I have to tell you, that is not a strong enough answer. Perhaps I am simply the most blessed man on these islands. But I knew that I loved my wife the instant that I saw her. And if you do not feel that way, love is not necessary for a marriage. Let me be clear.
Of course.
But it does help. A lot.
Yes. I'm afraid I've never felt like that for anyone before. Yet. At least not the way that you do.
Edrich takes in this interaction between the two of you and adds, "We certainly thank you for taking this avuncular role unto yourself, Duke Gorlois. We are very grateful."
Your generosity knows no bounds, of course.
I'm afraid I am not normally known as a generous man. But I am willing to make an exception in this case.
Did you have suitors in mind for Sir Perin, or was this an invitation, a blessing, for him to seek suitors in your lands?
Oh no, I turn off into the distance where I see the game master standing in a tabard and cloak who has a list of suitors prepared.
Indeed.
Oh my, look at that. We're riding toward one of my aides. How convenient that we have prepared a list of names and portraits.
I see. Your
It's a list
foresight,
of people holding paintings.
your foresight is very impressive, sire.
So strange how the three of us ended riding together.
Indeed. Fortuitous, as you said.
And there are, in fact, a series of suitors available.
Where are the cameras? Am I getting punked? What's happening right now?
So
you are getting punked, and in his head, Edrich is going, "How do I save this man's life from his incredibly murderous suitor?"
I'm gonna flip the question back to the Duke Gorlois for a minute.
Oh,
Just
course,
a quick inquiry. Now, your daughters are very young, and you're a duke, so you stand incredibly higher than these vassal knights in rank. But have any of them impressed you enough for one of your daughters to have made that list? Something I intend to ask you ahead of time.
Some of you may know that Gorlois makes an appearance in the Merlin TV series.
His
So-
corpse does.
I think that given all the... I don't know that it's ever written down directly anywhere, but given all that we know about Gorlois and his predilection for romance and love, even though it's not yet a knightly thing, it's not accepted at the courts, I think that Gorlois, as a man without heirs, is just waiting for his daughters to tell him who they are interested in, and then to either find them acceptable or have them thrown in the Irish Sea and drowned to death.
Fair enough. Okay, perfect. So we'll assume that's a no. So there are a number of names that are mentioned, and I think for because they're not along for the hunt, I assume they're not along for the hunt. This is predominantly. Now,
Well, I didn't have that much time to go send people out to bring the women here.
Yeah. Sometimes the falconry can be like that's more commonly to be, ladies will participate in falconry, but typically don't participate in a hunt, right? But this is very much the knights after the fact, so they're not here. But you hear a number of names professed from Tintagel, from Ascalon, and from Gigant. Why don't we get you all to do a recognize roll? See if you recognize any of the names.
All right.
Perin, you're on your own here. I don't know anyone.
Look, just roll a 1.
I don't know if I would marry a giant.
We
We
kill giants around here.
Who's this one? Guegina? Oh, that's a man. Okay, sorry.
Wow, the
Oh, so close.
So
Incredible.
close. Can we stop?
Do you want my roll, Thomas?
yeah. None of the names
Yes,
are people you've directly met. I think that's what it's coming, or at least none that you recall. I mean, Florence could have met like 12 of them, but he was probably hammered when he did. So
Yeah, he wouldn't remember.
yeah. Yeah, so needless to say, no. I think the names alone, are there any that you think would you be arranging simply daughters of vassal knights, or are you looking for like daughters of barons and stuff like that to AP?
Between you and me, you know that my plan as Gorlois is to get these guys married to Tintagelians so that they'll be forced to patrol here and thus be part of his regular forces. He's trying to attract foreign to these lands, but still British knights over here, since Uther seems intent on cutting off his ability to recruit new knights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So something appropriate for their station, nothing that would insult them as vassal knights, daughters of vassal knights, or incredibly wealthy merchants.
Roger that. And you can all give me real quick, just test intrigue if you're kind of able
Thank
to
you,
play into
sir.
that. Yeah.
Well, that's where Thomas's head was already. So
Yeah.
but I will.
I assumed you were gonna call for it, so I was just gonna allow you all.
You
to...
are absolutely correct, sir.
I'm not going to, because Sir Florence would never think of that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, ooh,
It's not lively enough.
somebody's offering me another thing. What is it, Tuesday?
Yeah, I think so. What I'm giving you kind of in detail there is you notice a lot of the names. The predominant number of names are Tintagel, though there are those offered from Gigant and Ascalon that also owe service to the Duchy of Cornwall. But all of the offers, which makes sense, right? It's not like shocking, but all of the offers are ladies of the Duchy of Cornwall. Every single one that's named. And there's like probably 40 that are named. So,
Well, that is indeed what he explicitly offered. So yes.
Interesting. So one thing, Mr. Bob, how far away is Roderick right now? Like, I know he's still wrapped in conversation and whatnot, but how aware is he of what's going on here?
yeah, to progress things a little bit, Roderick seems very caught up. It seems like him and Brassius are getting along really well, and they're just they're two old buds talking. You can hear them in the distance. They're talking about the March of Aurelius right now, like two of them being veterans of it. Yeah.
I think Gorlois chuckles and says, "That time we all watched each other shit together on the March of Aurelius. It was a good time. You don't really know a man until you've marched together and then watched each other take a shit."
I might need to test a directed trait that will not guarantee what I choose, but it will influence it.
All right. What are you testing? What do you mean to test here?
I'm gonna test lustful Ukraine.
You motherfucker.
Okay.
Let's see.
Don't critical on
Which
this,
one?
Brian.
I
Don't
lied.
critical.
Bob,
Yeah.
Edrich is psychic. Edrich.
Which one gets me as close to his wife as possible? Let's see.
Chad is already trying to keep you from dooming yourself.
Well, don't worry, it's not very high, so I managed to restrain myself.
That thought does definitely poison your mind a little bit, but you're able to think better of it.
I have a very quick question. You rolled a 6 for Lustful Igraine. Shouldn't it be a directed trait? Adding on.
Oh
to
yeah,
an
yeah.
additional
You didn't
lustful?
roll. What's your lustful? Yeah, because you probably just failed that roll.
It'd be, yeah.
What is your
yeah,
roll?
you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misunderstood how that worked.
No worries. You can put
Lustful
you can put a
is
16 in
7.
that number, and then it will apply.
Yeah,
appropriately.
it's a 7. So
So 7 plus
You
6.
actually have a 13.
Yeah, you
13.
You succeeded at lustful, which
fuck.
Yep.
so the
Well,
thought
that's
is
fun.
certainly circulating in your head. No, and just to clarify, what you're thinking of with that is how much is Perin considering a strategic spot so that he ends up seeing Igraine again and being within the Duke's court enough to be around her? Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, it's not a for sure choice, but he's definitely looking at like, all right, which one is the most reasonable to have me attend court with Gorlois? Ooh, that one's kind of close.
Yeah.
And he'll pick out whichever name is most likely to get him to see Igraine again.
I think this would be a relation, like a second cousin of Igraine.
Sure.
And I will go ahead and give you her name. I'm just gonna roll it here.
Okay, so Florence, I take back every bad thing I've ever said about you. Apparently, this is either A, normal, or Perin's worse.
I will know, just as a joke and an aside, but totally serious at the same time. Though Florence has high in flirting, he actually has the same chaste you all do. And he actually, so there's a
pure boy.
flirting, but he hasn't been following through with his flirting. It's a game more to him.
It's a game for him.
I don't know how to pronounce that. It looks like Siwan, but I'm sure it's like Shoin or something like that. You know. But yeah, so she is a second cousin of Igraine.
Then I will make note of that name, and Perin will not make any further moves on it until he has a chance to talk to Roderick, because this is sus as fuck.
I think the lustful winning out, though, it's not entirely strategic. I think there's a part of Perin that's convinced yourself it's strategic, but there's also a part of you that's like...
it's objectively potentially a bad house. It's just the idea is that, like, ooh, it's close to her.
Yeah.
I might get to look at her again. That would be wild.
Right. So as you guys are moving along too, you find yourselves nearing, like you're in the thick of the forest. You find yourselves nearing running water. You can hear running water in the distance. It sounds rather loud. Gorlois, of course, leading the way, probably has a particular spot in mind, because falconry is not typically done in, the thick of the forest. It would be done in some kind of opening, right? If not in an open field itself.
Lanes and such.
So with that,
I must admit. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Perfect. Yeah.
I was going to say, I must admit, Sir Knights, I am hardly the best falconer around here. Are any of you particularly skilled that wish to lead us off? And it should be noted that it is a great honor to go before a duke. But you better land this roll if you're going to try it.
Perin very looks at Edrich with the biggest puppy dog eyes of like, please God, tell me you're okay at this. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Edrich takes in that look, clicks his tongue. I would like to roll a passion, Bob.
I was about to say, are you stepping forward or are you hesitating for a second?
He's stepping forward after rolling hospitality.
Okay. Florence was about to step forward if none of you were.
So, I'm gonna try to roll this. If I fumble, That's not going to be me stripping myself naked and running into the woods. It's going to be me getting horribly depressed, which is still quite bad. Let's go.
Incredible. Amazing.
Wow, you fucking called it.
I know exactly how this is going to go.
Did you
Edrich
punch the
steps
bird?
forward. No, Edrich steps forward, like lifts the bird aloft, and then the bird just flies in a complete other direction. The bird just leaves. And that's
Technically, you can still make the roll. It's just at a difficulty of 1.
Yeah.
just at a difficulty of 1, yes.
Your hospitality would represent more so, I think, that you try to call on it, but you're just having a hard time with Gorlois, with Cornwall, and everything you've heard about the mustard. You have some choice opinions, like last year when you lost the battle and ended up as a prisoner of Saxon. Yep. You know, what would that have looked like if... Now, you've heard some pretty compelling arguments from Gorlois, but what would that have looked like? You know, would that same outcome have been your fate if the muster included the Duchy of Cornwall?
The mighty knights of Cornwall.
Mighty Knights of Cornwall. All I've heard is that they're excellent combatants. And the fact that there are no Irishmen seems to prove that. So I roll melancholy, 1d6 plus 5 days, and I lose 1 point of passion. Melancholy, I suffer -5 to all skill, trait, and passion rolls, and I gain 25 glory. So my hospitality is down to 14. Let me roll that d6. The maximum I can possibly get. So I'm melancholy for 11 days, and I roll falconry, which was at a 4 at a -5. So I need to hit a 1. So I've got a 5% chance. So let's see what happens, and if I fail, I would like it to be in the way I described. And Edrich gets very sad about that. Okay, let's do this.
Oh my god.
So if you rolled falconry by itself,
Wow.
So I think it's not a fumble. It is a failure. I think you certainly aren't on your game right now. You weren't particularly great at it anyways to begin with.
No.
Your lack of skill is showing, and your falcon does ultimately leave, but you are not... it's not returning quickly with any successful hunt. So, 10, 15, 20 minutes go by, still nothing. And I will progress the scene a little bit. That running water you could see, the area you're at kind of begins to open up into a glen. So you actually see... I'm moving in Roll20, but that's not the picture I want to show you. I'll show you an actual picture of the glen. It's sort of... let me just see if I have a good one. That's a pretty good one. It's kind of a small little waterfall and a nice big opening overlooking this. You guys stand at the top of this, like 40, 50 feet high, maybe higher than that even, kind of overlooking this open glen and area. Quite a little beautiful spot.
Very nice. As much as Edrich would like to enjoy it, he can't find it in him to look at the beautiful landscape around him. He's kind of watching the skies, and over the rippling of the water in the glen, you can just hear it left, as all things do. What is this? My curse, my land, as well as my own person. The Fae cursed me.
So I got a great idea. I want to offer you this, Edrich, because I think this plays in nicely to what's happened to you recently. So you didn't have a lot of family knights to begin with, right?
No.
You had.
I have one other than me.
And he is not a family knight anymore. He is a relative. He works for the king directly. If you are to die right now, you have... Wait, do you have brothers or siblings?
I have one brother.
One brother.
Who is my secondary character, who is not yet knighted.
Yeah. So you have a brother yet knighted, and I think you just get a sense of how quickly things could fall. I mean, it was only last year that you were in prison when you were being held against your will by the Saxons. You're starting to, I guess, the Duke's encouragement is just making you feel particularly like your house is standing on a house of cards. You don't feel confident about your future as De Winterbourne
Stoke.
Stoke.
So quickly.
And
even to those competent and tried and tested and true. And the last person my mother married into turned out to be a serial killer and a cultist. Everything fades.
Sir Edrich, are you all right?
Yes, I'm concerned as well.
He's been saying
Sir
all of it out
Edrich.
loud.
I think at that point Florence would say, Sir Edrich, I think you're supposed to use the falcon to catch something.
I tried, and despite my best efforts, it has come for nothing.
I've seen this before. Sir Perin, Sir Florence, might I ask that you help restrain this man for a moment?
He looks at Florence. What's Florence doing?
Florence is a little confused as he goes, pardon, Your Grace?
I may have misspoke last night in my energy. You know, of course I make it no secret that I find those who cavort with Merlin and use magic are distasteful. But my father-in-law is a user of some magics. I would not say all pagan things are terrible. To be very clear, this is not magic. You understand, this is not magic. But my wife is a accounted potion maker. She often aids me with her potions, and I cannot say it will work for certain, but I would like to administer such a potive to Edrich to see if we might break this curse upon him and this foul mood with this definitely non-magical potion.
I have no problem with
can
that.
Restore the heart of a man. A man who is not much of one.
Edrich,
I've seen not one winter of knighthood, and yet been cast down by a Saxon.
Edrich,
warrior.
darling, would you follow us, please?
Darling?
We're going to get lunch.
Very well. Not that my falcon would catch anything.
See, no restraint necessary. Your Grace.
I hand Edrich the potion and say, drink this. You may feel better, or you might not. It's not magical.
Methink he doth protest a lot.
Igraine has the woman's gift potion brewer. It's definitely magical.
Definitely magic. But yes, just kind of not with the same kind of what's the word? Like solid movements of a drunk throwing back a thing, but with a kind of listless, depressed. He's just going to drink whatever's handed him. Great time to kill him, by the way. And yeah, he's going to drink the potion that that His Grace gave him.
Yeah, I have no idea what it does. That's up to Bob.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be wonderful.
Okay. Now, just to clarify, Gorlois' intentions here were to sincerely assist him. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is not unsurprising to have knights have this happen to them, to suddenly go into bouts of intense melancholy, and know, he would never want to fall into such a thing without assistance as well. So,
you can go ahead and I think for so what did you lose as a result of going into this madness?
Hospitality.
1 point of hospitality.
And do you drink willingly from Duke Gorlois' potion?
Yes, he does. What else does he have to lose?
Perfect. You feel amazing. You've never felt better afterwards. You feel inspired. You feel like you've been missing the passion that your dim-witted cousin has had all this time. You feel inspired. So we're actually going to shift your outcome. It will be as if you were inspired at +5, with the exception of you now can roll a d6 and add trusting Duke Gorlois as a trait here, because these things are combined.
Very wonderful.
Yeah. One.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
The absolute lowest.
It takes a lot for a Salisbury Knight to trust Gorlois, so that's fair. But
Indeed.
you can, yeah.
So I would like to act this out, if I may.
Yeah.
Just shoulders slumped, back straight on his horse, even the horse feeling his lack of energy, moving slowly, and then... Oh, good God! That was wonderful. I feel alive in a way that I haven't before. As if I can take on the world, and the world might lose. Not magical, you say? Whatever it is, your wife can work miracles. My word.
And
I've seen this before. Good nights. He'll be fine.
You have my thanks. I feel...
No thanks are necessary. You are guests in my land, and the waters of Britain contain many mysteries.
And I feel as if the mysteries to life itself have opened up slightly. After enjoying things again.
On that note, should we talk later? Are you okay?
I think I am well. I think I understand what must be done.
That's
Ominous.
That's concerning phrasing. I have to admit.
It's fine. We have proven with our own blades that the curses of the Fae may be warded off. So too will
Whence
the land-
have you... So listen, Gorlois last night was speaking very regally, and he's been speaking very intimately
Yes.
with you now, and then he goes, whence were you cursed by the Fae?
The previous winter, when I was in captivity of the Saxons, my uncle had sovereignty over the land. A wandering Fae came past, or so he says, and now the cows produce curdled milk. I have not seen this Fae, but I have no reason to doubt him, or the townspeople.
Faith in God can often allow one to overcome even the greatest challenges.
Indeed so.
Okay, and I want to riff off that a little bit. So for Gorlois, I'll add this Glen in particular. You've been to quite a few times. It's sort of your place of clear-mindedness and refuge. It has brought you a stronger sense of spiritualism, and we're going to give all these knights here a chance to test spiritual, to see if there's any sort of that same, that sense most folks, or not most, some folks get when going into, say, an ancient temple or something of the sort. If you succeed, you feel that calmness, that peace, and it seems otherworldly in its delivery.
I think a great part of Edrich's not just recovery, but like feeling the way he does, is after the potion knocks him out of his melancholy state. This area is beautiful, and it feels meditative almost.
Mm-hmm. And this place exists. So in reality, it's just trying to pull up the name here. It's not named this in our game, but it's St. Nectan's Waterfall in Cornwall, not far from Castle Tinchajal.
I often come here when I am in need of privacy. You understand that with a castle full of knights, my wife, and 3 spirited daughters, that sometimes a man, a knight, and a duke requires some time to himself to contemplate the mysteries of the world and his connection with God.
I must
I heard
say,
it's-
it is in places like this you can truly see the beauty of God's creations.
I've heard it said once that if a man were to hear the voice of God, it would happen in a garden in the cool of day.
It's very kind of you to show us this.
You are guests who ride in my house. One of your number is perturbed, upset. Felt like the right place to go. And look, your falcon returns.
And indeed it does. I was actually going to say that, so good minds think alike there, Arthur. You're with that. I think that's sort of the complete writing of the ship, if it wasn't already righted for Edrich. In comes your falcon, and it does not return with anything, but it does return. I can't right or wrong on a failed roll. I won't do it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that Edrich was worried about is that it would leave him forever after seeing what a failure he was. But it is a bird, and the bird would come back.
So I'm going to take a minute here and just fix something. I want to make sure my kids aren't breaking something here. So we're going to just go to a minor pause, and then we'll continue on with the rest of the session. Be right back.
Alrighty.
That's
good, no magical potions.
I have to say, I'm like pretty convinced he just gave you a bottle of cocaine.
Hey, you look sad. You should do cocaine about it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give a quick check-in with the players here. Do any of you have anything you'd like to deal with or do? So the setting is you were the first to arrive. In come the rest of the knights, starting with Brassius and Count Roderick, and then the rest of the knights, Salisbury and Duchy of Cornwall, begin to fold in. You are overlooking this very tall glen. There's kind of an open field and open forest underneath. It seems like a wonderful place to do falconry. So, is there anything with that in mind? Is there any particular interactions that any of you want to do with the folk that are here?
Nope.
Already a fairly energetic person. I will say that Edrich is far more personable, far more friendly, just far more outgoing than he normally is. That doesn't have to be done in any specific roleplay with any specific NPCs. That's just something I want to note. He's talking to people he hasn't met before. He's not going, who are these people? He's just enjoying life because he's got a new lease on it. He's gonna fucking kill a fae.
It's incredible.
Godspeed.
Cornwall.
There is one thing Sir Florence wants to speak with Edrich about, as he kind of pulls them aside as they're hunting.
Oh, Sir Florence. The sky is brighter, the trees...
Sorry, I meant Perin. That's my mistake.
Hello, I am the other one.
Everyone
Sorry, the other one. It's been a week, guys. It's been like 2 weeks. Sorry. Yes, you pulled Sir Perin aside.
That's okay, I know we look similar. I'll be back.
He doesn't really know you guys' names. He just kind of...
Yeah.
1 and 2 is usually the best you get. Sir 1.
Exactly.
The blonde one, but not the one that's not as pretty as me. Yeah, that one.
Yes. Sir Perin, I wonder if I might be able to talk with you quickly.
Oh, yeah, sure. And he, separates from the rest of the group.
I've noticed that the Duke seems to have a strange interest towards you, more than the other two of us. I wanted to ask, are you like his illegitimate child or something like that?
Oh, I see. Okay. No, I don't think so.
Is that like something you didn't know or like?
I pray that is not the case.
I mean, could be the son of a duke. I mean, the illegitimate son of a duke. So there's really not much there. But
Right.
I'm just curious because he's talking a lot about fathers and things like that. So I just.
And he does seem to be singling me out particularly. I suspect it's because
No, I don't miss to push forward that your mother was unfaithful to your father or anything like that. But
Oh, we're
he
still
is a
on
duke.
this. Okay. No,
honestly, I'm very curious. It's been in my mind for a while, and I just kind of need to put it out there.
Right. And after I say that, the conversation is presumably going to be over, yes?
Presumably, yes.
Presumably, right. No, I am almost certain that Duke Gorlois is not my illegitimate father.
I see. Oh.
Sounds convinced.
Anyway, Sir Florence immediately turns away. Conversation over.
And after Sir Florence leaves, Perin will go, "Thank you, Sir Florence," and he'll follow.
Okay. About that same time, Edrich, you find yourself, really Edrich this time, you find yourself beside Sir Brassius, who's now has his falcon readied and is about to test his own skill in this. He looks over at you, and now you haven't met Brassius yet directly, have you? Or
No,
did you?
not directly.
I don't think so.
He says, Sir Edrich, is it? If I recall correctly.
You do. And it's good to see you, and good to finally meet you. My congratulations on your marriage.
My understanding is that we'll be neighbors in a way, in some, well, for one of our manors anyhow. Lady Violet, she is close to Winterbourne Stoke, I believe it is.
He is. We are neighbors indeed.
I see. Well, it might not be my business per se. I understand that your cousin, Sir Gortrix, is it, was in the process of courting Lady Violet previously. I just hope that that won't lead to any sort of animosity between us.
If you're worried about that, Sir Brastius, don't be. Goratrix might be a creature of incredible passions that burn like the fury of a furnace, but and he isn't that smart, but he has a very good heart. He understands that he and Lady Violet wouldn't have been that great a match, perhaps, and even if he harbors some affections, he would not step in on another man's marriage.
Forgive me
rumors might have said.
for saying I'm less concerned with Goratrix's opinion, Sir Knight. The opinion in which I care about is my neighbors, the vassal knight who runs Winterbourne Stoke, and I believe in that case I'm speaking to the right person. I want to know that we can trust one another. I have no jealousy in my body and no ill will towards any sort of well, I know what sort of knight they say Goratrix was. I just want to be certain that there's no hardship.
Rest assured that there isn't. The sentiments you share are the ones that I share as well. The feeling is mutual, and though it would have been an advantageous match, to be sure, that is no reason for any relations to be soured.
He smiles, and there's a sincere smile in his response. It pleases me to hear this. I'm not one for words myself. I prefer the sword. But I will be visiting Salisbury more than I perhaps intended to, and I wanted to be sure that, well, perhaps we can spend some time together. I'd like to know those who are near me.
Would be my honor, and if at any time the night grows too late for you to head to that manor, then I would be honored to put you up in mine. Once, of course, I killed that Fae.
Fae? Have you...
Long story.
Have you considered speaking to the Knights of Gigant? They are very versed. Their Pictish background, well, they served us very well as we navigated Summerland during the invasion, as the king had gathered. We were very successful in avoiding the turmoil that the other knights of Logris had faced. All thanks to the Knights of Gigant, of course.
Well, I may take your advice and seek their expertise. I'm not certain quite what it is what plagues my land, beyond, of course, the overarching type. But I will definitely seek their expertise. Thank you very much. I can see our friendship is paying off already.
All right, and why don't you go ahead and we'll give you another falconry roll, because this is kind of playing out throughout the better part of the afternoon, right, as the nights gather.
Watch this. I'm going to do another fumble. Okay, here we go. Oh!
There
And
you go.
indeed, without the inspiration, it would have been a critical. But
Yeah.
still good.
Still goes really well for you. You're very pleased with the outcome. Seems things are going
just
in your
like
favor.
as it, as it comes back, like fresh kill in talon and beak. Edric's just going to be very open with his affections. Oh, good girl, you did so well. You killed it. Look, blood everywhere. It's great.
And if I understand it correctly, with falconry, the returns are often just small game of any kind, right? Often birds.
Yeah.
But
Birds and rabbits, I guess.
I wonder, would they... Well, no, probably not. I was about to say, with the water nearby, would there be fish involved in that too? But probably not. Very specific birds that go after fish. Florence, do you have anything you want to do? If not, I have a knight lined up waiting to have a quick conversation with you.
I've done what I needed to do with Florence. I'm ready to talk with this new knight.
All right. Why don't you give me a recognize roll? I will give you a +10 for this recognize test.
Ooh. Now I might stand a chance.
Be hilarious if you don't. Actually. Okay, you do.
Would have been a crit.
Oh. It takes you a second
Hey.
to notice, but you see the knight that you had challenged previously has approached you.
Ah, Sir Owain. It is a pleasure to see you once again.
Sir Florence, I'd hoped to catch you along the ride, but it seemed you were with the Duke. It's my hope that we can put aside whatever turmoil was, perhaps with a challenge instead. And with that, you see he has his falcon ready.
I think with that, there is a smile that appears on Sir Florence's face. Why, I would be delighted. After all, there's no need for fighting and such as that. Simply tempers running hot in a day of drinking. But I must say, a challenge sounds quite enjoyable.
After you, my friend.
Very well then. With that, Sir Florence is going to go for some falconing. He is going to activate his passion of honor.
Yeah.
As this is a matter of honor, a challenge between knights.
That makes sense, and especially with the background you just experienced there.
Success. Alright, so I get a +5 to this. It's still not very high. Alright, falconry. +5.
Hey?
Hell yeah.
Success!
Now, I don't have a stat for this guy, so I'm going to use the 2d20 thing. So, roll a d20 to figure out what his stat is, and versus...
Which I'm rolling 20.
Yeah, so he's going to roll, and then versus his stat.
Lancelot fights King Arthur leads, and oh my god.
He rolled a 20 fumble on a skill of 9, so...
Oh!
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
way better.
Oh!
Yeah. So I'm a 20. Let's see. I think you see the falcon, like it's got something set in its sights. So it starts off, and it kind of starts to push the knight backwards as it flies off. It like spreads its wings. Now he's standing on the edge of this cliff overlooking the glen. If you don't do something here, Florence, he's going over.
Yeah, so Florence is definitely going to grab him and try and stop him from falling.
Okay. With that, you are still impassioned, but I'm gonna say it's a dex roll. It's more about grabbing. I think you have enough strength to give him balance. It's not like you're holding him by one hand. You're gonna stop him before he goes over is the intention. Mm-hmm. So you can make a dex test, and you can add your +5 to it.
Alright. Dex +5. If I fumble, this will be hilarious. Both going over the edge.
Yeah.
Hilarious and tragic. Oh, good.
Success.
Okay. So we'll say Gorlois sees that too. You see Owain's fumble almost results in his death, but Florence does reach out and grab. You can take merciful for that, Florence, or forgiving, whichever.
Yay. Yeah. I'll check. Oh, I think forgiving fits better in this case. 'Cause it's not
Well, I
like-
think aren't they the same thing? I think there were two different editions that use it, but are they?
Yeah, well, there's merciful and forgiving. Two different ones.
Yeah,
Merciful being the opposite of
merciful versus cruel.
Alright.
I'll give you
Florence
either
is
or.
very much.
You can take one of the two. They both kind of apply.
Yeah, I'll
'cause
go
it's
for
like
merciful.
you could be vengeful and just be like, "Oops, too bad."
Fuck them.
yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Not to be equally cruel and go.
yeah, yeah.
That is let him die. No, I'll take merciful.
And you can tell he's thankful. There is a big look of fear in his eyes. He looks over that height, and you see him. His falcon comes up short, so it does return to him like 20 minutes later with nothing. But he doesn't even seem to care, and he stays pretty far from that ledge for the rest of the day. There's certainly almost like a sign of cowardice in him there. So, or practicality.
Florence will still attempt to be cheerful with Sir Owain, kind of, brushing off the kind of ugliness of last night and kind of starting fresh with this night.
I think Duke Gorlois is going to ride over when he has a moment.
Let's do that now. Sounds like a good opportunity.
Sir Florence, you have twice shown kindness to an old man.
Well, I believe it is in the heart of every good Christian to show mercy to all those of God's creatures.
I've noticed that before you speak to me, you always tilt your chin back. Is there...
Do I?
Yes.
Does he?
Yes. I just wanted to ask about it. It would seem that I owe you a boon, for one good turn deserves another. Is there something you would ask of me for saving the life of one of my vassal knights?
Only one thing I would ask from you.
Just did it again. He started talking to me and he
Yeah, this is like my Florence motion. He always does this.
Look down your nose at people.
It's very him. Yes, he would look at the Duke and go, Your Grace, I ask for only one simple thing. Would you join me for a prayer this night in your church or chapel?
Of course.
Then that is all I will need.
Such a humble boon indeed. It does you great service, sir.
Thank you, Your Grace.
Gorlois rides off. He's got other people to try to get in his web of intrigue.
And as he leaves, I push Sir Owain off the
Everyone watching?
That we'll end on the
Heel
cliffhanger.
turn!
It's, Game of Thrones edition right here. Things you do for love.
The things I do for love, yeah.
Accidental. He didn't want him to die as an act of God, purely an act of man.
Yeah.
Wait, die.
Okay. I'm gonna go to Perin next, who hasn't had recent screen time. Is there anything? So there are a couple of folks here you might be interested in if you don't have your eyes set on somebody. Your uncle's here. You haven't had a ton of time with them. Your old
That's
knight.
what I was gonna. That's
Okay.
what I was thinking. Is my uncle? Is that groovy for you?
Absolutely. And you see him nearby.
Perfect. Oh, that's right. You always give me the most impronounceable names. I love it. Thank you for that.
It's basically
Artud.
Artud. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Arthur, but if you were drunk and slurring, I get it. Yeah.
I mean, that's how all names work, right? Basically,
Arthur.
it's like at some point you fuck up a name enough to. Yeah. Sorry.
Exactly. Say a name that's relatively modern, and then have a bowl of porridge in your mouth while you
when you say it. Yeah. Thank you for having mercy on my dyslexia, Bob. I love you. Anyway,
Blame the dice.
Perin. Yeah, exactly, the dice, yeah. Perin will make their way over to Uncle Arthur and kind of sit down next to him and goes, I might have a favor to ask you.
Of course.
Well,
I did want to say that I wish I had been keeping tabs on you more, well, after your father's death and all.
No, don't worry about it. Durnford's been through hard times, but Sir Perin and Lady Fleor made good work of it. They kept us strong, and now I'm in charge, and I've got a good foundation to work off of. You were busy out here, as I understand. The Irish have been, well, you've had your hands full.
Well, not just the Irish. There was the Civil War and the Giants. It's been difficult. But...
Indeed. We fought a giant recently, so I can relate to that a little bit. And I suppose potentially we're fighting a civil war right now. It's not really important. I do have a favor to ask you. Yeah, I do have a favor to ask you.
Speak it.
And he looks up towards Gorlois, and he goes,
Oh, Gorlois is staring at you. Like,
exactly.
Look at Gorlois. He's already looking at you. Yeah.
And he like looks back to Arthur, and he goes, "Oh, see, okay, don't look right now, but I think for some reason that I can't seem to understand, the good Duke has taken a liking for me, but I can't tell if it's interest or malice in his eyes."
From what I know of the Duke, you would certainly know the difference between the two.
I see.
I've seen the way he speaks of King Edrich of Cornwall. And he's soft.
Guy
on the
hatred
word
16
Cornwall.
on that bitch.
Yeah. I heard him speak of Merlin briefly as well. So, perhaps you can help me understand exactly why he's so interested in me. I mean, I did take a few risks in front of him, but I doubt that was enough to. And he double checks his Gorlois still looking at him.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt that would be enough to warrant this kind of attention.
I can certainly ask around. I'm sure someone would have a better sense of the Duke's interest in you. Though not here, not now.
Of course. As you need it, of course. So your letters will always be accepted at Durnford Manor. And
you out here in Ascalon, of course.
It would be nice to visit. Purely a social call, of course. I know it's difficult to get away, but still, the doors are always open to you. Right, that's all I really wanted to say. Feel free to stop by and say hello to my friends, should you like to. I hear that Florence is quite popular here. I'm sure you would get along well with him.
Absolutely.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you need to make a deceitful roll when you say you're coming out here just to see your uncle and not maybe to see my wife? When you've literally planned to marry someone
like
just
that.
to get close to seeing my wife?
I explored marrying someone, marrying a wife. No.
Listen, we're just checking in on the headspace
Yeah,
here.
no, I get you. No, Durnford Manor has been really pushy in terms of hey, we need to make time to visit other people when it's not we need something or want something. So that's a Durnford Manor thing.
He does add to that question. It's been a long time since you've seen my lands now, in which your mother was raised. It'd be wise to come out here to Ascalon.
That's right. I forgot she was born out here. If I can get leave from Count Roderick, I'd be happy to. Might I take my companions as well?
if you will. I would say steer clear of the Summerland border on your way. I'm sure you know the details there, but they say bad things come out at night. Though Glastonbury is wonderful to see.
I wasn't involved in the conflict there, but Dallin wrote me a few letters, and, well, they described some pretty eerie things. I will make sure to do so. I look forward to seeing you. And your wife?
Yes, indeed. I hope that you could meet your aunt soon.
I'd like that. I'd like that very much. Right, I should get back to it, but good to see you again, Uncle.
All right. And then why don't we go ahead and let you give a test here to Perin for falconry as we close.
Yeah. Do I look, rip to all the Thomases that suffered from hubris, but I'm different. I'm also gonna roll passion here. I'm gonna roll my honor because I really want to be an example for these people.
I was punished for my hubris, but I am a outlier. It won't happen to anyone else.
All right, I did succeed on that. So I'm gonna get a +5 for a 15. Is that right?
Yeah, +5 is correct.
Okay, it's still not that good. Hell yeah!
So it isn't so much your skill, like with a failure versus a fumble. It's not obvious. You're just coming up short. It's sort of like, if you ever fish with someone and it doesn't seem like it seems like you're doing the same things everyone else is, but you're not coming up with you're not landing the fish. You're doing just that here. You're not landing the prey. You're sending your falcon off. Perhaps you need to spend a little more time training them. And perhaps you need you can always throw money at it too. Just like most things in life. Enough labrum can solve this problem.
Exactly. At the very least, Perin fails gracefully with their honor passion. They look like they're having a good time and have a smile on their face. They're not put out by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ultimately you're not doing anything that's like disgraceful, like almost falling off a cliff, for example.
Right, or potentially like having the bird fly in the complete opposite direction or anything like that.
And go missing for 20 minutes. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I see how it is. Your dick's a number. You're lucky I'm on magical cocaine.
The three of you can test your, or not test, you can check your spiritual for those successes earlier. I forgot to mention that if you don't have it checked already. Because of the Glen. All right, and with that, I'll pass it over to AP one last time. Is there anything else you'd like to see? It can be after this into the evening as everyone returns. If not, I think we're at a good place to wrap her up.
Gorlois just reiterates, not that you need me to come back to guests to do this, but just if they want to come visit on patrol and, see the Irish that they perhaps suspect aren't real and come kill them for me. Would love to have someone else killing them for once. It's been a while since Uther stopped by to help us out here, so we could really use some hands.
All right. And then
So
I'll just...
like that.
Perfect. So just checking in with Liam, Mark, Thomas. Any last little bits here before we close? Anything you wanted to see done?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I can't wait to take my friends to go and visit my uncle.
Yeah, Edrich's pretty much good with everything that's happened in his life and, the future as well. And how much of that is chemically induced, who can say? No, he's liking things. Perhaps at some point he'd like to speak to the Lady Violet, but she's not on the hunting trip.
Oh, we could do that. We could do that. I did have one thing to check in with you guys on before, because I think it'd be interesting to conclude this tonight. Do any of you continue, so Liam, you had showed at least general interest with your lustful check. I think we need to have that quick Roderick conversation, perhaps. But for Mark and Thomas, do either of you begin to do Edrich or Florence take the Duke seriously at his offer for marriage. Hands in marriage.
You want to go first?
Again, probably not with the offers he has made. Mostly because, surprisingly, the Duke has spurned on a new desire after the Baroness Pomponia. So that's the direction he's going.
Mm-hmm. And do you have anything towards Igraine? I can't remember if we gave you an actual directive trait. No?
Not him. Not Florence.
Okay.
That's my guy right there. He's number 1 knight of Gorlois right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Edrich, same thing, or because I don't think you have any suitors at this point, right?
No, he doesn't. Edrich hasn't shown an interest in that sort of thing. But at the moment, Edrich wouldn't mind. Edrich loves love, so to speak. And he would definitely like a match for his house. But he also likes Salisbury. And he knows that if he were to match into a house, upwards, he'd have to join houses which would be awkward when there is inevitably a civil war. So he's going to not look into things quite yet. He needs to get his house in order anyway, which was always the plan.
Yeah, I think AP is going to cover it, but I got the same thought. Go ahead.
It turns out, Edrich, you're covered on that one. Have you ever heard of the concept of liege lord?
Also, I will be right back. I gotta go take care of something real fast.
So, I think all of you have sworn Roderick as your liege lord.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
What that means is that relationship is the one that you prioritize over all others. So you might be called to serve Tintagel or any place in Cornwall, should you have manors there. But if you have sworn to a liege lord, you basically advertise to everybody, bitch, don't call me, I'm from Salisbury.
Indeed. And if there's a conflict, then it goes with the liege lord. That's a good thing to know that Thomas didn't. Edrich probably would, but the other things I said, Edrich would prefer to get his house in order to get the best wife he can. Because yes, he does need to continue the House of Winterbourne Stoke, because there are only 3 of them, and one of them currently isn't in the house.
So one thing I did differently, I think, is I put the emphasis on this in the prologue at the beginning or the end of the game, because you were household knights, right? So there wasn't an emphasis towards marriage. But with vassal knights, there is a game mechanic, I should point out, for the Great Pendragon campaign, which is literally having an heir of age for the next iteration of the game. So thinking of the boy knight period, you want to make sure you have some members of your house, because you are playing a house, not just your character. From this point forward in the game,
an heir and a spare.
Yeah. So you have that. And perfect. I was mostly just killing time so I could check in with Liam as he's back.
I'm back.
Do you want to have that briefly, that conversation with Roderick?
Yeah. Let's do that if you're comfy. My time constraint is over now, so I'm good.
We shall do that real quick, and then we'll let everyone go. Ooh, it's super late for. So let's do that. Name the time. Do you want this to be at Castle Tintagel or a couple weeks later back in Salisbury?
I would say as soon as possible, but not in a place where Gorlois can look at me.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
You'll find there are few places.
I'm not stalking you. I'm a duke. I have actual jobs to perform.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
you say that, but then he opens the door to go to the privy, and then
you know what? Perin's a pretty smart person. You overheard the Florence bit. You wait till Florence and Gorlois are supposed to be praying that night, and you choose to approach Roderick at that point. And so he's off in the guest the guest section of the castle, where you're all properly together. His is of course under guard, so you have to pass by a couple of your most trusted seniors to get there. So Alad and Amig are there.
Gotta get past the fellas.
They don't really they don't inquire. They'll let you through. You're a trusted knight here, vassal knight. So,
Thank you. And as he goes in, he goes, My Count, I hope I'm not interrupting your sleep.
no, no, I am tired though. Falconry isn't exactly my favorite thing. I can't remember if he's good or not, so it might be partially true. So let's handwave that part. But.
I mean, he could be good at it, not particularly
not
good
like
at it, too.
Exactly. That's why I use this.
It seems that it wasn't many of our strengths today, but that's something that I wanted to talk to you about. I assume that you're aware that Duke Gorlois has been trying to arrange marriages between many of our knights, my family in particular.
In particular, he says with a raised brow.
I, in particular.
What is it about Sir Durnford?
I am uncertain at this moment.
I see.
But the consensus seems to be that the Duke has taken a particular interest in me, and frankly, it makes me a little nervous. Still, I assume in general you are aware of that?
I am.
I wanted to briefly seek your opinion on this. I am courting someone back in Salisbury, and so much of this arrangement feels far too intentional for me to feel 100% comfortable with it. Does that make sense?
The Duke is a strategic man. He doesn't do things without thinking them through.
Aye, that much is clear.
But he is also not one... He hesitates, because there's a certain tugging of loyalty to Uther as he pauses for a moment, but he says, I've not known Gorlois to be deceptive. He has good intentions for this island. It's really a pity that him and Uther were not closer in the early days. Perhaps all of this could be put away.
That's interesting. That's not said out loud. Hey, Mr. Bob.
Yeah.
Can I roll an intrigue roll on our good count real fast?
Sure.
Okay.
You would question your count?
No, I'm simply wondering if there's some shit's happening, that's all.
Yeah, I told you earlier. I saw him shit on the march with Aurelius.
That's true. I remember us talking.
We all saw each other shit.
You're right. Is potentially Roderick more sympathetic to Gorlois than he is to Uther? Is that the vibe I'm getting right now?
No, you're not.
Okay.
Roderick is a soldier first, and Uther, Gorlois, and Ulfius are kind of, with the exception of Bellius and Brassius, these three were major figures, in Aurelius's march. All of them very important figures. All of them were heroes in their own way. Roderick himself,
right? They've fought together, so they're
things.
close. Yeah. Okay, I understand. All right, good.
Yeah.
And Perin's suspicions are waived a little bit.
He goes on to kind of explain, when Aurelius's forces landed, we landed first in Cornwall, expecting a conflict from the Kingdom of Cornwall. But we did not find one, we found more allies. Gorlois had his eyes on the kingdom. By his mind, it is very much his. This land here, the land from Gigant, really, all the way to the sea, should be his. But it's not. He was willing to put aside those differences for his brother-in-arms, Aurelius, and his king. Uther does not assist him in ensuring that. Really, this duchy is, in a way, no more no more than a protection against foreign invaders, not just the Irish, but the Kingdom of Cornwall proper. Perhaps you've heard of King Idris. There was war out here, conflict over succession in lands. In a way, kind of ended in a stalemate, with both retaining their positions. I'm sure that compromise could be found, but I don't think it will be found so long as the king and the duke think so lowly of one another. Oh no, we lost Mark.
Oh no!
We got him back. Okay.
Might I speak a little frankly, sire?
Of course.
If Gorlois is so vital to the protection of the island, why isn't Uther sending more troops out here?
Uther is set on removing the Saxons. They've done his kingdom a personal harm. When Vortigern usurped the throne, Aurelius and Uther were spirited away by night to Brittany, as were, in a way, many of the refugees that landed in Brittany, fleeing Vortigern's awful attempts as he allied with the Saxons against our very people. I think that Uther will not pay mind to any other enemy until the Saxons are dealt with swiftly and directly. And in that mind, I do not think him a fool. It is true that the Irish remain a threat, as do the Picts to some degree to the north. But it's the Saxons that threaten us day in and day out.
Perin looks like he wants to say something, but then he decides against it. And he goes, I see.
So, might I ask what your opinion is on the marriage, sire? Specifically mine, and those of my friends as well. Our houses have no other heirs currently to replace us, and I can't help but think that we would be more valuable in Salisbury.
What would be most valuable to me, young knight, is that you have an heir produced by the spring. Where and from what loins, I care not. I've mentioned this to your cousin before. I think perhaps ringing bells in their ears countless times about how I need more knights. Unfortunately, knights don't fall from the sky, and until they do, they must be produced. If I remember correctly, I believe I was at your father's wedding. Myself just a young knight at the time. And your mother's from this way.
He was very proud to have known you. And I'm only just getting in touch with my mother's roots.
I see no harm in making your alliances with local knights of this land. Perhaps if the Duke and the King will not make favors, the knights can urge them in that direction. If not them, then perhaps their children, if it need to wait a generation.
I see. I'll take this into consideration. Thank you for your advice. I'll let you get some rest.
All right. He will dismiss you. By your leave, Sir Knight.
And Perin goes to bed.
All right.
It's on the floor. He just sits down on the floor.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and wrap that up right there. So, thanks AP for a wonderful second showing of the Duke and giving the Knights more inner turmoil to consider. So,
Excellent.
Yay!
I'm here to shake things up.
Perfect.
Indeed. And hey, speak for yourself, Bob. Edrich's got a new lease on life, and count it, 1 point of a directed trait trusting you.
Watch that be the difference later. That's the thing I love about this game. Watch that be like the critical you need to make something ridiculous happen later. So we'll see.
That's Pendragon, baby.
Yeah. All right.
Don't worry, guys. We'll always be friends, and we'll remember these fond moments together, especially Sir Perin in the future.
No!
I love it.
Who knows? This could go an entirely different way.
We're going to give Liam, not Perin, but Liam a directed trait of suspicious Gorlois, or suspicious AP Gaming Reel. 6.
I'm like terrified AP. Oh my god.
What have I done to make you suspicious? I've offered you marriages. I've given you great advice. I took you falconing.
Exactly. This is all very suspicious.
What could be my end game?
Oh, what a fun session.
I see what you mean, Sir Perin. It's the evil laughter. It's true.
It's true. AP, do you have anything you want to plug while you're here? To all 75 viewers?
I want to plug chat for saying absolutely maidenless behavior, because my goodness, we had some maidenless behavior here tonight, and that is such a great line. Elden Ring has done a lot for society, a lot of good, a lot of bad, but maidenless and no bitches definitely brought us to a new level.
So true.
Perfect.
I don't think I have anything I want to plug right now. Thank you so much for letting me come here. Am I coming back for more Gorlois stuff in the future when I'm definitely playing a good guy who's friendly and always on the player's side?
That is 100%
in the future?
my hope. 100%
Excellent.
my hope. Yeah. So,
we'll see if these guys are still maidenless by then.
Yeah. Well, if they
better not be.
Yeah. I
That
hope
means
not
some real
either,
problems.
Because some of them have serious air problems already. I think Thomas has
That'd
one.
be unfortunate.
So, yeah.
Look, I just want to find the lady that's right for me, and I have to kill a fae first.
Okay, why don't we go to Thomas? Any outros for you, or any plugs you want to make in your outro, rather?
Absolutely. Well, not as such. I am Thomas. I have been playing Sir Edrich of Winterbourne, Stoke, the one and only. Don't listen to these people. And yes, it has been an absolute blast. Thank you again, AP Gaming. And I will say this. You don't need maidens to be an effective knight, but it certainly helps, because you could die at any possible moment, and your heir is going to be someone called
Oh yeah,
I still can't pronounce it.
We'll have to look up that pronunciation, because that character's going to have to make some on-air things at some point.
Oh yeah.
All right. Mark, you're up.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry I didn't see you there. I was just checking out our handy-dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. You can see all kinds of shit we do there, such as reminders of when we're streaming, new content that will be upcoming soon.
Memes.
All kinds of stuff. Memes and shit posting. That's a big part of the server, actually. So,
It's a big part of the server, yeah.
Yeah, so come join us. There's a link on our Twitch and on our YouTube, and hopefully should still be working. If it's not, please let us know. And yeah, I have been Mark, playing Sir Florence, and I have had a lot of fun today. I just want to say, AP, it's been great having you. Thank you so much for just terrifying the shit out of us. That's been great. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I'm so great that can't wait for Eric Vulgaris to get his guest spot.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's gonna be
but yeah,
Liam,
that's me.
And then it's me. Hi everybody. I have been one terrified Perin of Durnford today.
You should listen. You're the one I did want to terrify. Let's be really clear here.
I know, I can tell. I had a wonderful time. What a great game. I'm enjoying this so much. Bob, you're a wonderful GM as always. I might actually have something to plug in the near future, because I'm getting pretty close to being able to put out some episodes of a project I've been working on. So we'll see. And a couple friends of mine and I, some of them are in the chat right now, are working on a game for the Vampire the Masquerade Game Jam, and I will have more information as we get closer to the we get closer to release. So
nice, fun. Yeah, for background, if most people don't really know this, but the four of us met on an old VTM server ages ago.
A digital LARP.
Where we all ended up on staff because we weren't bad players. So that's how it works. All right, so just plugging real quick. I'll plug for AP because there's a couple of things. So he has some really new content that's pretty good with his what's the name of your D&D adventure?
Generic fantasy adventure.
That's pretty great.
There's nothing special about it.
If you like Pendragon, though, Oath of Endosteel is wonderful. It's Pendragon themed, set in the BattleTech universe with a number of noble barons to start, anyways. Noble knights actually to start, wasn't it? I forget. No, noble barons.
They're barons, yes.
Yeah.
Didn't you guest on Oath of Endosteel?
I did for one episode. It was super fun. So.
We're gonna have you back. The players have been on a little journey beyond known civilization, but when they come back, you gotta help me screw up their lives some more.
Happy to help. So hopefully Eric still likes me by the end of it. And then
you specifically were there to screw Eric's over, so
yeah. He didn't seem to take it too harshly.
Hey, apparently.
There were enough vibes on screen.
Exactly. Yeah. He agreed to be on the show.
Yeah. And then I think, the last thing I'll plug is we're hoping to, so I have this and I have Gathering of Branches on Tuesday, which are in the same shared Pendragon verse. I'm going to be doing something for the Pendragon game and community called Open Pendragon. So this will only be like a couple of episodes a month, and we'll follow a number of mercenary knights, household knights, basically drop in Pendragon. It won't be like these games, really. It'll be different. It'll be more like a quest or a battle, something, especially Age of Uther. Honestly, it's going to be mostly battles and skirmishes and things like that. But it is designed to kind of allow people to play along if they'd like, or just learn how to play Pendragon. So that's my hope. And if there's enough generated interest where we're getting like too many people to run in those couple of sessions, I might recruit other folks to kind of do some guest jamming as well. But I've been Bob. This is, I think, our 5th episode of Sword of Victory. It's been wonderful having you, and this should be our last full episode of 486. So thank you very much, Arthur, for coming along, and I hope to see you in the near future as you totally assist these knights towards wonderful things.
Yes. Skull, friends. Yeah. Skull.
Woo! Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Lucas, you guys win. No.